Chapter 13 is entitled Cooks and Ski Bums. It was the Christmas of '49 when I finally woke up to the fact that we needed some help in the kitchen. But that cost money, which we lacked. After that fiasco of the group that never showed up and the bunks and bedding that we'd bought going unused, we decided to draw up some rates. Is $3.75 a night, including breakfast and dinner, too much? I pondered. I'll ask my friend Helen Rich. She knows what's reasonable. And if not, she can find out through her job at the welfare office. Since Helen had asked me to give up the scuttlebutt, in one ear and out my typewriter, I figured her other ear would be sympathetic to my problems. Helen, I asked, what would you do in my place? I'm working here as county clerk 6 days a week and driving 20 miles both ways. I really look forward to skiing on Sundays. However, after feeding our friends, ski patrol and weekenders who pile into our house and ask to sleep in sleeping bags on our living room floor, it's too much. They're great friends, but as soon as they've eaten breakfast, which I cook for them, off they go. By the time I get the dishes done, I get up to the mountain at noon. Max helps with breakfast too, waiting tables and so forth, but he has to be up at the area in time to run the ski school. You need to tack up rates on the front door, Helen advised me. Maybe $3.75, but how about $3.50? It sounds better. Then you can afford to hire a cook. Immediately, I shopped around Breckenridge and Dillon for a cook. I was told I might get one for 50 cents an hour, but I only needed one for weekends. No skiers came up in the middle of the week. I couldn't find anyone. Then Bessmore came to the rescue. I'll cook for you, she said. They'll like my Norwegian lefse and my good hot oatmeal breakfast. The skiers who were willing to pay $3.50 enjoyed her as much as her food. Sometimes they would come down early from skiing to help her peel potatoes and carrots. They would sit around the cast iron wood stove in the kitchen, listening to her stories while eating her homemade cookies. Towards spring, Bessmore decided to visit her family in Norway, which she hadn't seen for 45 years. Off she went in early March, but before she left, she suggested a friend of hers. Up the road towards Montezuma, in our old Alhambra cabin, lived a miner with his 200-pound cheerful wife. Fontella was her name. On Bessmore's walk, she'd struck up a friendship with her. Fawn, as we soon called her. I did some quick figuring. If we had 10 guests on the weekends at $3.50, that would be $35.50. I could pay Fawn $4.50 per day, leaving enough for groceries. Such things as light, heat, taxes, and repairs never entered our heads. After all, we lived there too. If guests came during the week, which was rare, they would heat up some canned soup and make their own beds. Some even mopped the kitchen floor. After the ski season, we really looked forward to summer. Spring? What was that? The aspens burst into leaf after the last willow bender snow, usually around June 11th, which was Bessmore's birthday. On the first birthday she spent in Summit County, I remember her saying, I had to live 70 years before I celebrated my birthday in winter. When summer did come, It was building time. From Breckenridge came a miner and neighbor of Helen Rich. Curly Mackey was his name. He had a true Scots generosity. Mining had come to a standstill, and Curly would say, "There ain't two lunch pails going out of Breckenridge these days." It was wonderful mutual help having Curly there that summer. He had room and board and a rocker in front of the fireplace. Evenings he would sit and rock while listening to Max read to the children. Rolf and Sonny preferred Max's reading to them. At the office, we had no duplicating equipment, so I had to type everything and then proofread it. After months of proofreading, I found myself unable to read stories aloud. Curly and Max built a sawmill. Their plan for the summer was to build a wing on Ski Tip. I must explain how Ski Tip got its name. We had no doorknobs on the doors. They were hard to find and expensive when we found any. Since all skiers had wooden skis in those days, we would come across broken ski tips on the mountain, left there by some hapless skier. After discovering how well they worked as door handles on the front door, which had been beautifully carved by Max, we became scroungers of broken ski tips. Our guests donated any that they would find on the mountain, and soon all the doors had ski tips as door pulls. None of the doors locked, of course, but who worried about that? After suggestions for a name for our place, such as Stagecoach Inn or Beaver Meadows Lodge, Sonny said one day, "Mommy, we've got so many ski tips around here. Why don't we call our place Ski Tip Ranch?" The sawmill was put up near the old wagon road and ready to go, but it needed logs. On Saturday afternoons and Sundays, I would help Max with loading of the logs which he and Curly had cut on the place. Sometimes our good friends Bill and Jean Bullard helped load the logs on the truck using the cat that Max had used during the war. At the sawmill, the logs were slabbed off on 3 sides. This made a tighter fit and required less chinking. It also made a flat wall on the inside of the rooms of the new wing, yet left a rounded log wall on the outside. The new wing gave us 4 rooms downstairs and 2 rooms upstairs, plus a storage room. We must have a balcony, Max decided, and went about carving the boards for it. I offered to paint it with Pennsylvania Dutch designs. I never thought to trace out the designs and paint them on the boards before we nailed them up. We didn't have a ladder long enough for me to reach up and paint the designs. I found it was easier in the long run to hang over the balcony railing and paint the designs upside down. Rain, wind, and snow soon blended it all together. The weathered designs still show colors, and nobody seems to know or care what they were. Another winter was coming. Fawn and her husband had moved away to the western slope, where I heard she was cooking at a ranch in the Sweetwater country. Lucky Sweetwater people, I thought. Helen Rich came to the rescue again. "Try asking Edna Hooker," she said, and I did. Another lucky day. Edna said she'd clean and make beds besides cook, and asked only 50 cents an hour. Business boomed after we posted a brochure at Arapahoe Basin ski area. We were able to pay her, and we all ate well, with Edna happily singing at her work.